Overwatch 2 went on to Steam, right? As we know, after completely fucking up their relationship with NetEase, there really was nowhere to go if they wanted to have the game potentially sold in China. So they had to go to a rival games developer to sell their game on Steam at a markup that Valve are now going to get for a game they had nothing to do with. And oh, how it must stick in Activision Blizzard's craw. They must be incredibly pissed off that it's come to this, especially after all that time they spent on, making Battle.net. Battle.net used to just be a tool to facilitate online play. Now it's a fucking gacha casino shop nightmare, right? But anyway, it moved across to Steam. People finally had an opportunity to transparently give feedback for the game. And think about it. It's been through all these iterations and all these broken promises and all this stuff, and people haven't really been able to say anything apart from maybe on a Reddit thread or maybe on Twitter, and they get drowned out by the stands. Say what you will about Steam, and I think review bombing is a stupid practice, but sometimes when you are denied other avenues to express yourself, actually, review bombing can sort of make sense. And I'll also add, I wouldn't even call this review bombing. I wouldn't even call it that, because I think a lot of the reviews are genuine and, pent up, frustration. So it came to Steam. You can see the headline here on Eurogamer. Overwatch 2 is now Steam's worst game of all time. This is a report by Vicky Blake. It went on to Steam. Not only did it get review bombed, it got absolutely fucking panned, with one of the top reviews saying, "Welcome to Steam, Blizzard. Here are all the honest reviews." And in other words, people who haven't been able to review the game up until this point in any other setting, finally the floodgates were out, and these reviews were fucking wild. Now keep in mind, when it's like a Chinese language optimization review bomb or something like that, Valve will sometimes intervene and take the negative reviews off to keep the ratings up and all of that stuff. But that didn't happen here. And so I sort of did collate some of the reviews and do a tweet about them, and I got some others that I didn't actually tweet out. This was the tweet I did. You can see there. It's been a day since Overwatch 2 came to Steam, and the reviews have not been kind. Currently standing with an overwhelmingly negative rating. Fans are currently relishing the opportunity to criticize Activision Blizzard in a very public way for their terrible decisions. The people who make Overwatch porn work harder than the people who make Overwatch. That was one negative review. True statement. Big true. They forgot to add content for 3 years, said another review. Porn so good, they made a game out of it, said another one. I did get some others. Where are they? But keep in mind, this is a free game as well. So people are downloading it and then playing it for a couple of games and then leaving a review. But I've got some of the others here. What's this one? It's no free PvE with the fucking Megamind ASCII. There's a Pepe the Frog. I recommend the porn, not the game. I cried at the part when Reaper said bye, 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 and locked the new heroes behind a battle pass and scrapped the story mode. Truly the game of all time. Thank you, Activision Blizzard. I don't know which Blizzard treats worse, its players or its female employees. That's from someone with 33 hours there. 2016, game is good, porn is good. 2023, game is bad, porn is still good. Another review here. Literal respect to the NSFW artists that kept the game alive to this day. Somebody posted a recipe of how to make a Black Forest gato. A literal recipe there of how to make a cake. There's this review. Scam your customers with false advertised garbage games. Molest female employees. Sell out your pro players to Chinese overlords. Molest female employees, get investigated and fined for molesting all those women, announce hero is gay to cover up abuse, get kicked out of China for announcing hero is gay, lose more than half your player base, molest women, your hero creation diversity O-meter does not qualify you for ESG money, steal women's breast milk from the office refrigerator, lie to players about your PvE mode to sell them battle passes with garbage rewards, have terrible balancing and make awful gameplay changes, players abandon your game, crawl to Gaben and beg him to save your dying game. All I can offer you is a front page advertisement for a week. You are here. That's the review. Someone doesn't know about the breast milk story in the chat. They go, steal breast milk? I'm afraid so. So yeah, Overwatch 2 is now the worst game on Steam. But the comedy doesn't end there with the reviews. But they did respond. They were so sad. The Overwatch development team was so big sad about being told their game is shit that one of them felt compelled to do an official blog response, which we'll now read. Director's take. Looking beyond Overwatch 2 Invasion. By the way, if you're wondering what the invasion is, remember how you weren't getting that PvE mode anymore because they couldn't do it. It was just logistically impossible and too far away from their artistic vision, even though that was the whole purpose of Overwatch 2 in the first place. Well, now they did do some of it, and it's in the game, but only if you buy it as DLC. And so, yeah, that's what that is, and that's what the invasion is. And apparently it's so ridiculously difficult, which is probably mentioned in this blog, that less than 1% of the people who bought it have been able to complete it and access the freebies, etc. you get for completing it. So, anyway, Overwatch 2 Invasion launched last week, and it was our biggest season launch ever. The release included work from every section of the Overwatch team, and we've been looking forward to sharing what we built with all of you for a long time. We made big additions to the core PvP game. I think they put a new hero in or something. And other features. A new battle pass. Oh, thank you. A new way to rip off your player base. Fantastic. And a null sector theme that we received great feedback early on. We also launched the first chapter of our story missions and ran a co-op event alongside their release. We've heard from many of our core players the game is the best state it's ever been in. Now, guys, I don't know, I've seen some fucking denial in my time, right? But to do the old joke, I haven't seen denial this big outside of fucking Egypt. What are you talking about? Does anyone actually think Overwatch is in the best state it's in apart from this fucking developer? What the fuck are you... What is Blood waffling about? Right? As the kids say. Many have told us it feels like we're really listening to their feedback and that this season is a culmination of that. It's so awesome to hear. Ilari, our newest support hero, was introduced this season. Players have given us a lot of positive feedback about her. I do believe that feedback was not another support. Oh, it's an OP support. But okay, back to the thing. Our balance goal for the release of Ilari was to make sure she felt strong but not overpowered at launch. I think we hit that goal. Ilari is very strong, but some of what helps Ilari not feel overpowered is her support role and kit. Were we to release a damage hero with a one-shot ability, we would be a little bit more careful with their power level. Ilari will enter our rank mode on Thursday, August 24th, and we'll be making a few adjustments to her by then, most likely to her healing pylon and ultimate. We also released a new game mode, Flashpoint. Now everything's just called fucking Flashpoint these days. With 2 unique maps this season. While there's been a lot of talk about Ilari and other parts of Overwatch 2 Invasion, we're seeing lower conversation around this mode. Players are busy with this new hero and everything else released this season, so it's understandable. But we still want the mode to be as good as possible. So let us have it. We'd like to know what people like and dislike with Flashpoint so that we can iterate on it. We're also talking about when to bring Flashpoint to ranked. Barring any bugs or exploits, we'd like to start ranked matches sooner rather than later. A big part of this season was the release of our first set of story missions. Remember, the story missions that you couldn't have for free when you bought the game, but now that the game's free, you can have them as paid DLC, which has seen more discussion than any other part of the season. Some of the discussion has been critical, and I'll get to that. But one of the things that I loved seeing was the legendary runs that people were streaming online. These missions on Legendary are hard, super hard. Most people can't complete them at this difficulty, and those that did had to devise custom strategies and team comps to get past the hardest encounters. If you're a content creator who completed Legendary and you're reading this post, pat yourself on the back. You were great entertainment. Only 1.6% of attempts successfully completed Gothenburg on Legendary, and 0.7% of attempts on Toronto were successful. We feel like we learned something with the level of difficulty and are excited to apply and expand on it for future co-op content. Now we get to the good stuff. We also launched on Steam last week, and although being review bombed isn't a fun experience, it's been great to see lots of new players jump into Overwatch 2 for the first time. Our goal with Overwatch 2 has been to make the game more accessible than ever for more people than ever before. Many of the reviews on Steam mention the cancellation of the much larger component of PvE that was announced in 2019 as one of their primary reasons for dissatisfaction with the game. I get that. That announcement was about an ambitious project we ultimately couldn't deliver. So, what I love about this is they just don't even deny that they did just fucking lie and scam everyone. They're like totally fine with it. It's not even an apology. It's like, well, the bloody project was so ambitious. We were so ambitious. We could never do what we promised we were going to do that we took your money for. We could never do it. Sorry, guys. Sorry for telling you a bunch of lies. Do you get your money back? No. In fact, actually, we've made something incredibly similar to the thing we promised you that we're telling you was too ambitious to deliver upon, and you can only have it if you pay us more money for it. You know, I mean, at least you could at least have given that first one away for free as the sorry, but no, that's never gonna fly. Remember, it's still Bobby Kotick's Activision Blizzard for now, and we're getting closer to the Microsoft buyout, which will go ahead. But ultimately, he still wants to add to the fucking dragon pile as much as he can. Hoard as much of that gold as he can before he fucking gets out. It's ridiculous. And also, as I said, framing this as a review bombing when you literally in the next paragraph are saying, and we did rip off a bunch of people. Do you think those people might be a bit pissed off? Do you think they might have solid grounds for grievance? Nah, we're just being review bombed. Let us have it, guys. Anyway, if we can't turn back the clock, then what can we do? We can keep adding to and improving Overwatch 2. That's how we move forward. This means more maps, heroes, game modes, missions, stories, events, cool cosmetics and features, an ever-expanding, evolving and improving game. This is the future of Overwatch. Now, I can't help but realise that many of those fucking things are in fucking loot boxes. Like, you know, they're behind paywalls. They're DLC. So the way forward, by the way, is to take this game that's definitely in the best state it's ever been in, 100%, no capper, and they fucking are just going to add more and more stuff to it that you can buy. I don't know. I probably would stop playing this shit game, and I would probably stop buying Activision Blizzard products if I was an Overwatch fan. But that's me. We will eventually create and innovate on what is making the game great now for the players who are playing now. Overwatch, by the way, that's a little veiled thing. If you're staying away because you think the game's bad, then the people who are playing are the ones that are going to have the input, so it's going to be for them. Overwatch is such a unique game and world. When our heroes are all working together to complete an objective, there's really nothing else like it. Jump in! There's more to come. As always, thanks for reading, and I'll see you in-game. Just delusional. And, by the way, talk about gluttons for punishment. All of the comments are pretty positive. Like, you know, people are saying, I'm glad it didn't get to you, and thanks for posting, and thanks for the transparency. There are, you know, a healthy smattering of people saying it's all bullshit, but it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, how fucking cuckolded Overwatch fans are. When are you going to fight back? When are you going to get mad? Like, the review bombing, by the way, is a start. But you gotta stop buying this shit. You gotta stop doing it to yourself. It's not like it's that good a game. I'm also loving the prospect now of being able to monitor the player base numbers now that it's on Steam, which I'm sure that'll be the next thing we're doing. Overwatch 2, all-time lowest peak players on Steam, to which Activision Blizzard will say, well, many people are still playing on Battle.net and the game's in the best state it's ever been in. Fuck me. What a mess.